Um, no, truly, like thinking about like a president that has the audacity to say, I'm mad because I'm a criminal and y'all decided to investigate me. So I'm going to take over $200 million of y'all tax dollars for like bothering me. That's where we are. Or the U.S. senators that were like, you know what? Yeah, we had some stuff to do with January 6th. And because y'all investigated us, we going to go ahead and write in our own checks as well in order for us to reopen the government. Because that's what they did. That's what they did. They're cashing out like they are taking, or Kristi Noem, who is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ads with some ad company that just happens to be her homie's like when I tell you that they are robbing us, this is not like, I need y'all to understand, because there are people that are saying things like, oh, you know, it's left versus right. It's conservative versus liberal. No, it's not. It is right versus wrong. Like that. I mean, I want to be clear. I am a Democrat. All right. But I will speak up for real conservatives and say that conservatism does not tell you to go and steal the American taxpayer dollars. That's not conservatism. Conservatism is everybody, you know, ain't got no regulations, just go have fun, right? Like conservatism is saying things like, let's be real tight with the purse strings. This is not tight with the purse strings at all. I mean, when we're talking about how much money we continue to spend with this guy, and conservatism also is low taxes. Tariffs. He got tariffs. He like Oprah with the tariffs. You get one. You get one. Like, I mean, seriously, there are tariffs everywhere. None of this is conservatism. Like, and they won't speak up. Sadly enough, the person allegedly that's speaking up for conservatism is Marjorie. Lord, we lost. So I will say a couple of things about this, because people are like, what is it that we can do and how did we get here? So one of the things about the big ugly bill is that most people don't understand that we haven't really felt the worst effects of it, because most of it actually has not gone into effect because they wanted it to go into effect after the midterms. But now you have the insurance companies, they know what the legislation is, as well as those community health centers, as well as some of those hospitals. They know what's coming. And so in preparation for it, we are seeing some of the results. But the problem is we're not even fully there, okay? So when we look at something like that, what they did is they made the tax cuts to the top 1%ers or so, they made them permanent. So as we were in the shutdown and we were like, hey, we need to make sure that these tax subsidies for healthcare, if anyone gets their health insurance on the marketplace, we just want to extend it. They were like, no. But they made the tax cuts for the rich permanent. So what this means is like tax revenue, that's exactly what it is. It's all the money that we got coming in. So basically they said, you know what, we going to reduce our income. So let's say we were making $500,000 a year. Now they like, you know what, we only want our salary to be $125,000. So they reduced our salary. They reduced our income. So then they were like, well, we ain't got as much money, so we can't give out as much money. So that's where they were like, you know what, we're going to reduce our income. So therefore, we're going to pull $1 trillion out of the healthcare ecosystem. So that means that the rest of us have to support making sure that that hospital still remains in the community, because their bills are their bills. They got to get the money from somewhere if the doors are going to stay open. What people need to understand is, and I think that we failed because we kept talking about Medicaid or Medicare, and some people are like, well, I ain't on that, so that don't impact me. Yes, it does. Just like if you're not on SNAP, it impacts you that they cut hundreds of millions of dollars, actually billions, hundreds of billions of dollars out of SNAP. You know why? Because if they don't have that money, then that impacts our farmers, because they're planting, projecting that this is how much they're going to sell. That also impacts our grocery stores. So your costs go up. So we have like basically everything that could go wrong is going wrong right now because of the policies. So we're like getting kicked while we're down. So what we need is, at a very minimum, we need enough people so that we can get over this tariff fight. Now, we are in court about the tariffs, and now we're hoping and bracing that that branch of government will save us, because we have cowardice from Republicans, both in the House and the Senate. But if we can get people in place, we can stop him on the tariffs, because he's exceeding his legal authority anyway. And at a very minimum, If we can stop them on the tariffs, then that puts us into a better position as it relates to some of those jobs that are going away. Some of the reason that jobs are going away is because people literally aren't making as much money because everything costs more. Like, you have to understand the entire ecosystem. So if there's one thing I can leave you with, because I just gave y'all a whole bunch real fast, what I want you to understand is when you see something, even if you're like, this doesn't directly impact me, I need you to think through it, and I need you to start asking questions, even if you ask in Chat GTP. I need you to ask, how will this impact me? Because some of these things, the immigration policies are driving cost up. Like everything that could take everything in a very bad way right now, he is doing that, and that is why the economy is where it is. That is why we have lost over 1 million jobs right now in this country. That is why we have less availability than we do people that are looking for jobs. Like, we are in a recession. I don't care what nobody say. And almost like within a week of him swearing in, I told them he was going to send us to a recession because that's what his policies are doing. And we haven't even talked about how he literally is doing everything that he can to get us into war by illegally killing people on boats because he think they drug dealers. Like, he is trying to, so that's also more money, right? Like, I need y'all to understand we are not in a good way. So if you're here, that means that you're a part of the choir. That means that you understand the assignment. But the other part of your assignment is to actually talk to other people. You got to talk to people besides those that are sitting in here. You got to make sure that you're talking to your neighbors, your friends with the little red hats. You need to talk to everybody because the red hats is hurting too. They hurting bad. You need to talk to them so that people understand, because one of the reasons that they've been able to do so much of what they've done is that people don't understand how government works. And so with them not understanding how government works, they can get caught up on personalities and say, well, I'm going to vote for this person because I like their personality. And at the end of the day, that personality ain't what you need when it comes time to decide whether or not you're going to have food on the table or a job or a roof over your head or your child is going to have access to education. It is so important that we go more than surface level when it comes to politics on every single level. So yes, we are focused on the federal level. That's where we are right now. But I need y'all to understand that it's those county elected officials, those school board officials, those city council persons that are protecting, and state, in the good states, that are protecting the people from a hostile federal government. So y'all need to encourage people to show up for the special election, show up for the, they gotta, every time it's an election,